let me tell you, the person whose pack had 230 slides. I mean, I tried not to, but I hated them a little bit by the time I'd finished reading it.
Hey, this is Helen Dawson, and you're listening to the Innovation Crowd podcast. Businesses are looking to reinvent themselves, be more digital, more sustainable, and thrive in a volatile world. Yet most corporate innovation programs don't deliver. In fact, many don't even survive after their second birthday. On this show, I sit down with the experts to discuss the strategies that work, so you don't have to learn the hard way. So come and join me in the Innovation Crowd.
Hello, Helen.
Hi, Sandie, how are you doing?
I am good. And anybody listening, I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio, or when in Titanic, the guy that's shouting from the boat. Is anyone out there?
Is this thing
uh,
on?
so, Helen, we see a lot of shit proposals in our
Yeah.
day-to-day life. I've been working on a few myself, but not to go through. We don't want to do the whole bullshit introduction because people don't care. They want to get to the juicy stuff.
Yes.
So why are we here today, and what are people going to leave with?
So we're here to talk about what people should write in these sales proposals that's really going to work for the buyer. So I've been on the other side. So I've been that business person. My team used to look at like 100 startups a year. And so many of the things that crossed our desks had to be reworked to be taken somewhere else. Or they were so technical, you were like, well, what does this mean? What can I do with it? So, this is actually selfishly about making that business person's life easy. And what we want to do is give people like 7 things on a checklist that they can check all their proposals against, so that it really works for the person they're selling to.
Mm-hmm. All right. I want to do a little introduction as anyway, Helen. So can you give me an example of your position and what type of, tech came in through the door that wanted you to buy stuff, just to
Yeah,
let
so
them
I
know.
used to lead digital transformation for Shell, part of Shell, the retail business, so petrol stations that you've always used. And one of the things was building out like an ecosystem of potential partners, innovations, things we wanted to use. And now I work with companies helping them set up like similar ecosystems, helping tech vendors sell to those customers. So the whole thing is around actually just getting technology in the hands of people to use it and deliver some benefit from it. And I think there's so many obstacles for people to do that, obstacles that don't need to be there, right?
Yeah.
And the thing I love about your stuff is the way that you're like helping people to change the language they use so that they stand out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what I do. I've rephrased my elevator, not pitch, but elevator line. So I work with B2B SaaS and B2B companies, essentially making boring stuff interesting so that people actually get it and they give a fuck and they want to buy it. Oh, that's the end
Yeah.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the same vein, I had someone ring me last week and they were like, how do I make my data platform interesting?
Yeah.
And I went, no one cares. Your
No,
data platform sounds boring.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
stop talking about the data bit.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. And that's probably like the first one. So I was go upgrade the user.
Mm-hmm.
Don't upgrade the technology. Like paint
Yeah.
this, stop describing your data platform
Yeah.
and that it uses Databricks or it uses this or it uses that. Like nobody cares. Start
Exactly.
describing what someone can finally do because they're using your technology and it's unlocked something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the first step of the boss ready proposal. It is to address what is this piece of tech gonna change for me on a day-to-day basis. So if you put up a camera at Tim from finance's office and you have this, what did you call it, a data platform?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going to change? Is he going to get rid of the spreadsheet chaos? Is he going to be able to shut up his boss that's nagging him about something, or what's going to change? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what's that? What's that? Not the overarching business outcome of you might be able
Oh,
to do something, but what tangibly
yeah.
is going on in the work and in the workflow. Like, make it real for a real person
Yeah.
doing a real job, not like a sort of made up version, but actually get that kind of tangible,
Yeah.
real impact on a person. Often executives don't really know how work is done, and
No.
they're horrified to find out what the as is.
Yeah.
And then when you're presenting them with the actual solution in the same breath, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, I just remembered that what I used to work on a proposal actually for, it was a facility management service, so it was not
yeah,
tech. But you can, it's hard to find something that's as boring as, cleaning, food, making, the office stand and you
yeah,
just function. And the first thing we did was to start with the proposal with the problem, to address
yes.
the problem and to, speak their language and get rid of everything that, even remotely smelled of increase efficiency or increase revenue, because the day-to-day person doesn't give a fuck about revenue. They want to get, rid of problems on their to-do list.
Yeah, and so many of these things are sold as if they're some sort of vitamin, some sort of nice
Yeah.
to have. It's
Yeah.
much better if it's a painkiller.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
if you go in a shop and try and buy a vitamin, they're all sold as if they're painkillers, like,
Hmm.
solve your exhaustion or take
Yes.
away your joint pain or
Yeah.
any of those things. So if vitamins are sold as if they're solving a problem, like, really, um, that's what you need
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned, this is our second point, right, is use the industry language, or even
Hmm.
better, the language that that client uses. Um, steer away from stuff that feels generic that anybody could say. And
Hmm.
I know it's the efficiency, right, of sitting in a sales team. You just want to recycle a deck you already have. But
Yeah. Yes.
and it feels like you're saving time, but you're not. You're wasting that opportunity by
Yeah.
not making it specific, relevant to that sector, relevant to the problem in that sector, relevant to the thing that that client actually does. Um,
Exactly.
so yeah, you're not saving time. You're actually wasting the opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're leaving money on the table essentially, because if you're sending out 10 proposals and all 10 are being ignored, like before we went live, we just discussed that, imagine that you're applying for a job and you are one in a bunch, like 200 people, and one person has to scan through and comb through everything. The one that addresses the problem and, steers away from the, I call it, the, the money speak, or the venture capital speak, because again, revenue, it's all good and fine, but it's not that's not the problem. It's something else.
I know I learned more about sales proposals by being on that client side than I did being on the other side,
Yeah.
because I sat down and over, I think, in like a day and a half, I read 9 or 10 back to back. And
Mm.
let me tell you, the person whose pack had 230 slides, I mean, I tried not to, but I hated them a little bit by the time I'd finished reading it. It's just
Yes.
like, and the guys that had, like, 40, including appendices, I was like, yeah, I like you a bit more. Just
Yeah.
purely on I've not sat through a load of generic stuff that I
Yes.
needed to unravel and make the point of. So, yeah.
And I am so happy that you're saying that, because a lot of B2B people in general, they think that the buyer is logical and that you would sit with your spreadsheet and you would put everything in and you would compare the pricing. But the emotion that, holy fuck, I have to go through 200 pages, it's going to affect how you decide. So if
Yeah.
have to choose between the 200 pages guy and the 12 pages guy, and this is just like a tiny bit better, you're going to go with this one because this one over here, he pisses you off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It pisses you off that it couldn't be bothered
Yeah,
to make it a bit shorter, couldn't be bothered to take out the case studies that didn't really work.
exactly.
Um, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's like really, it is an emotional,
Mhm.
or partly an emotional decision, right?
Yeah,
It's, and brand carries for something, but actually answering the questions in the order
exactly.
that they've been asked can
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
useful.
Yeah.
Obvious stuff.
Kind of obvious. Should be.
Yeah. But I think genuinely, my compassionate thought is when you're writing a sales proposal, you're thinking that your buyer is just going to read yours,
Mhm.
and they're not. They're going to
No.
read multiple. So, be kind,
Yeah.
um, is the thing, because it's that thing of reading lots, back to back, and it's tiring, and you want to give people a fair chance, but you are
You're
influenced.
and you're a human and you're going in between meetings. First one with the Colin from finance and then Tim from marketing who hasn't done his stuff and yet that pisses you off as well and you had a bad lunch and then you need to remember to call your mother-in-law or whatever. So you're dealing with overwhelmed brains and then you put a 200 slide deck in front of them and that's just going to hurt your chance of getting in the room at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. So that was number one, was upgrade the user, not the technology. So it's not about the thingy, it's about the person. Number two was use industry language. So what mm, what would you advise people to do to get to know the industry language?
um, do you know what? People are generally really helpful, and they should spend time with people in the industry.
Hmm.
Um, and I know that sounds like networking and people wouldn't be bothered, but people genuinely want to be helpful.
Yes.
Um, so I would say, find some friendly people in the industry, maybe but less senior, and actually ask some questions about what do you call this,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing in the world, but people think there's a massive barrier to it, and there really isn't. Um,
Yeah.
for a tech company last year, who was trying to do a partnership to bring everybody together, we made a video. And the thing that really made it stick was the fact it felt like there was somebody in the industry. And the
Yeah.
example that we picked was it was to do with the bridge and, oh, there's some soft ground and, oh, there's a problem. And it felt true.
Hmm.
So that when they showed it to a client, it just felt like, oh yeah, these
Mm.
guys understand me, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, we didn't really show what the technology was going to do. We
No.
just showed what was possible, we thought would be possible in the future for
Yes.
someone solving a real problem that existed. Like,
Yes.
you didn't need to show anyone they were clicking any buttons or any screens or any of that. You
Nope.
just painted this picture of, in real language, about how someone would view this problem,
Yes.
um, in business language. The
Yeah.
fact that there was some technical thing of, oh, they needed to rework a plan or rework a thing, that's the bit that your SaaS company tends to focus on. But
Hmm.
actually, it was the business problem
Yeah.
and the implications of that on cost and speed, and then
Mm.
saying, "Ta-da, we've solved it."
Yeah.
That's the bit that created the momentum.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and I know it's your technology, and I know you love it, but
People
I
don't care about the technology.
no,
Yeah,
no, they
maybe
don't.
the Uber geeks they do, but essentially they just want to get rid of a headache at the end of
Yeah,
the day. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, and and with that we actually got to number three. That was pinpoint the problem the clients wants to solve, and that's just what we talked about here. And I think one exercise that I do with my clients is instead of go surface level with the problems, you can go a bit creative and you can go enemy or villain hunting. So I sit down or stand up, whatever we do with my client, and I say, okay, so if your client is Harry Potter, who is Voldemort? Who are we battling against? Is
Right.
it, an internal feeling of, let's say I'm a perfectionist, and there is some kind of software that can help me, get started with video without overthinking it.
Yeah.
Or let's say I I didn't do it with Loom, but the enemy of Loom recording is meetings. So that's
Yeah.
their Voldemort. So that's very, clear.
Yeah.
So if you sit down and you can do this in 30 minutes and you can say, or is it bureaucracy or is it the boss or some old technology, legacy technology that's slowing them down? So go villain hunting or enemy hunting. That's a really good way of doing it differently than just saying, oh, it's the spreadsheets. But yeah, spiking
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah. Because I think then that also reflects, it's you and the technology company against the common enemy then, right?
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
allies, you're solving something together, and
Yeah.
that takes some of the them and us out of it, and you're on the same side against somebody else, which is quite a great kind of shift to feel
Hmm.
about it. I think the other thing is, you know, solve the problem that they already know they have. They may have other problems that you can also
Yeah.
help them with,
Yeah.
but if they're not aware of them, they're
Exactly.
they're not you're gonna have no impact. Everything you say is
Hmm.
just gonna like ping off the surface. So you've got to target yourself for that problem that they already know they have.
Yeah.
And the other stuff will come later.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I see too many people going, "Oh, well, actually, they have these issues." Well, yes, they do, but the
Yeah.
one that's keeping them awake at night is this one,
Yeah.
and therefore go and help them with that one first.
Exactly.
Um,
That, the tiny, dipping the toe instead of, proclaiming, we're going to fix your whole marketing operation. Okay, that's too big. Help me
too big.
fix my CRM or help me fix, the email marketing software or whatever,
Yeah,
go. I think there's, I can't remember her name, but she talks about the startup. Um, it's a luxury of startups that you can actually go quite niche in the beginning. Microsoft, they can never go niche again because they're too
yeah,
big.
yeah,
And Atlassian can never go, niche again. But as a startup, you can actually start up with the corner of the company that you're gonna help, and then you can expand and you can expand your product and the whole portfolio. So that's really a good thing to be
yeah.
very specific.
It has that clarity.
Yeah.
So, a friend of mine, she has Salesforce coming to her.
Oh,
Other CRMs are available, but they
yeah.
go, "Well, what you need is AI agents," and she's just like, "Not sure I do actually. I think what I need is like this basic stuff in my call center," but they're
Yeah.
just like throwing a buzzword at her, and she's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
"No, I
No.
know, I know you want that to be the answer to my question, but
Yes.
it's not. You
Yeah.
haven't even
Oh,
you haven't even asked me what my problem is
yeah.
yet."
Oh
So
my
it's
God.
like, yeah. So,
The
I think
deadly
that
sin.
it is.
Yeah. All right. So, Helen, we went through number one, two, three. Number three was pinpoint the problem. And remember that shut up and listen is the first step before you send this proposal, please. Uh, like you said, it's not the problem that you wish they had, and you cannot throw AI agents at them if it's not where they are. And then number four is, you know, show them what good looks like. So we have the before, everything is shit, spreadsheets all over, and then what it looks like afterwards. Can you say some words, Helen, about that?
Yeah, if they can't imagine what it's gonna be like,
Hmm.
then you haven't made a sale, right?
No.
Because natural assumption is this is gonna take ages and it's gonna be really hard. So it has to be worth it,
Hmm.
right? It has to be worth it. So, um, one of the projects we did at Shell and we started before the pandemic, but we put a load of Shell stations on like Deliveroo and Uber
Oh.
Eats and all of those things. And we had a real challenge with people thinking, well, no one's going to order stuff. Like, what are they talking about? Um,
Mm.
but we knew it had masses of potential. But then it
Yeah.
became obvious in the pandemic that that was a great thing, right?
Yes.
But our learning is we needed to paint the picture of what that looked like much, much more powerfully. And once
Yes.
we'd done it in a few places, and we were like, yeah, people are buying these things at these times, and then it, got momentum and felt exciting.
Mm.
But it's what does good look like? Good looks
Yeah.
like opening up these new things that you can't do now. Or good
Yeah.
looks like you spend your time in the meeting actually making decisions rather than debating whether the numbers are right or not. God, we've all been in those meetings.
Yeah.
Um, so, so it's like, what does good look like? Where are you going to be able to go that you can't go now?
Yeah.
Um, and make it feel tangible. Make it
Yeah.
feel like, oh, you can get a proper answer in, an hour rather than it taking a week. And that
Mhm.
means you can do this.
Yeah.
And, it's got a real like hero feel to it,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
From a storytelling perspective. But like,
Yeah.
you know, make a hero,
Yeah.
um, make it feel like you've gone somewhere and achieved something.
Yeah.
And that's quite infectious in terms of that feeling that it creates. We're talking so much about feelings, which I think is completely accurate, is
Yeah.
it creates this feeling of excitement about you want to go somewhere together. You kind of know what tangibly it's going to be.
Exactly.
Um,
Also because that's how the brain works. The brain doesn't understand concept, complicated, or, we understand visual things better than written things. So if you paint the picture on the inside of the skull of the people who are going to use this software, you're more likely to get them to understand, oh, this is good for me. So again, imagine that you're being compared to 199 other vendors. If you can talk about how Ben from procurement, he's gonna leave the office earlier because he's not sitting inside in meetings from, until 5 o'clock, and he's got energy to play with his kids. Or, you can go very deep and emotionally on these things and not just focus on what happens at the desk or in the office.
yeah, and I think especially like I work with a lot of engineers type businesses, so, energy and utilities and construction. And there's
Yeah.
some really lovely, tangible things. And some of the people I work with, they talk to me about buildings that they've worked on. And then they have a
Okay.
day out in London with their kids and they go and show them the building that mummy or daddy has worked on.
Yes.
And that's just like such like an amazing way of bringing to life what they're really trying to do.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and it feels quite visceral,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Talk about the pride of doing what you do. Maybe not always address the fact that you can leave your job early. Maybe that's gonna fly everywhere.
but yeah, that whole thing of like taking your kids to see it
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah. It's a very undervalued valued skill to scratch the surface and go emotionally deep. You don't have to, air out everything, but just one tiny emotion, you're gonna affect the buying decision, or the person at least, easier that way. All right. And so we talked about what good looks like. So number 5 is write the soundbite that'll repeat when you're not in the room. Take
Yeah.
it away, Helen.
So B2B, there's always multiple layers to decisions, right? It's a very, very rare that you'll get someone that can make a decision first go. There will be multiple meetings. You'll probably get someone more senior as you go from one to the other. You might never meet the ultimate person that needs to sign it off. Um, and so then you're relying on someone in your customer to pitch your product
Mhm.
for you, right?
Yeah.
And that might be with some materials you've given them, but it might be they're just like verbally saying what it can do, and they need ideally a soundbite that you've given them that they're
Mhm.
going to repeat.
Yeah.
And when you're doing an amazing job, either internally or as a vendor, when someone repeats that back
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
So, have something memorable. Now that might be a statistic, it might be improvements of X%, it might be
Mhm.
this is so much quicker, but it might be something that really, in a short sentence, describes what this thing does. But
Mhm.
have a soundbite, something memorable.
Yeah.
Um, and that sounds quite intangible when I say it, but we all remember these advertising slogans, right? We've
Yes.
all got them
Yes.
embedded in our head. Just because you're a technology company doesn't mean you shouldn't have the same thing.
No.
Um, so, yes, sound bites,
Yeah.
little quotable moments.
Yeah.
Um,
Essentially, you can just, borrow or steal from what, car commercials or innocent smoothie or other industries has done for the last, the past 100 years because it works. They're designing tiny slogans, headlines to be memorable. And one thing you could do is use a metaphor or a comparison that people understands. Like
mhm.
with the iPhone, it's a computer in your pocket.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what it is. Or you can. This is very nerdy, but it's a behavioral science thing. What's it called? It's called rhyme as reason. So we tend to remember things that rhymes. So if you can
Uh,
get stuff that rhymes, they're gonna remember 100 times better than I know statistics and percentages can work, but it easily slips the mind better
mhm.
than worse than if you make something design it for the memory.
If it rhymes, it chimes. There you go.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly. I always ask people to think back of a commercial. The first one that pops into people's minds. It's either from their childhood, so there's a connection to nostalgia. That's an emotion,
Mhm.
or it's because it rhymes, or it was funny, or something else. So you just attach it
Yeah.
onto something, that throws a hook into
Yeah.
people's brains.
And that metaphor is really good as well.
Yeah.
Working with people in construction, they'll have it's like Google Maps for a building or something. And that's
Yes.
like, okay, I get that now.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know,
Yeah.
rather than it's a multi-layer digital twin. You're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But what does that mean?
Yeah,
So
and I
yeah,
just I just died from boredom, but continue.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And you're absolutely right. It's like get rid of the logic,
yeah.
right? Because even if that initial person you talk to in the client is very technical, by the
Mhm.
time you get to the decision makers, they are not.
No,
And if you control the narrative as the vendor, then you can prime your technical person in the client to say the right things.
yeah,
Don't rely on them to solve this problem because they're less equipped to do it than you are. Um,
exactly.
so yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's right, the sound bite.
yeah. Yeah, and just a final note on that. I know that a lot of people, they think they have to lead with the numbers and the spreadsheet
Hmm.
stuff for the finance guys and all that kind of thing. But the first thing you want to do is you want to hook people, and then they're gonna ask the questions, and then you can shine with firing away. This does this, and this is
Yeah,
89% faster than yada yada yada. So save all the statistics and the numbers for when you are getting through the door. So the door
yeah,
openers, the soundbite.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Right. And if you're ready, Helen, let's go to number 6. And we are almost at number 7. So build early value into the way you work. That's number 6.
yeah. So I think, the sales process doesn't end when you've sold it. And I would really urge people to, like, at the end of week one, give your client something good
Hmm.
because your sponsor is going to have to defend the fact that they've hired you
Yeah.
and you want to make them look good. And even if it's some tiny bit of insight into their business that they didn't have, or just some measure of complexity or something,
Mm-hmm.
You will get some information in that first week and just play back something that they might not have known and a little bit of insight. You don't have to have deployed anything, but give them a win
Mm-hmm.
because they're still selling you internally to all the people that need to use your technology.
Exactly.
Um, and just, you don't have to make something up. You
Yeah.
just need to observe what's going on
Yeah.
and say to someone, actually, compared to this other company you work with, this is easy, this is hard, this is where you're at. Just a piece of like
Yeah.
insight.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can always borrow from, other clients that are similar and say, okay, we've been, observing for a week or two. This is what we've seen. And you are going to see some shit behind the curtain anyway, because there's always a mess somewhere that you
Yeah,
can fix because no company is perfect. So you are going to find something that you can just, we've noticed this, we can do this little tweak. So this company B over here, they had this issue. It looks similar to this. So it gives them a nice feeling that what I'm hearing you say, Helen, is that when you've got the signature, that's not it.
yeah, that's not
That
it.
now you have to deliver and you have to make the sponsor, the one that has to defend you, sure that you were the right choice. And you have to convince them that you're not just a number in the CRM system. You're actually a customer they care about.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like, show them you're delivering that value that they think they're going to get. Show
Yeah.
them here's a stepping stone on the way to
Yeah.
us reaching that end goal. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good customer service in a way, but
Hmm.
bake it into the way you work. Make sure you do it. Don't like palm it off onto a customer success person.
No. No.
Like take the ownership for it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and it will become second nature if you do that, and it will make your working with you feel different
Hmm.
to most people in the market, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you know. Do you know the bow tie?
mhm,
I think, yeah. So usually in SaaS, people they focus on the what is it, the left side of the bow tie. This is where the awareness is happening. This is where the
mhm,
acquisition is happening. And then in the middle of the bow tie, you sign the contract, you get there, and then on the other side, there's the onboarding. There's the referrals, the being an ambassador, being a happy
mhm.
customer, and usually they drop the ball after the onboarding because that's it, we're done.
Yeah,
And
but you see,
it's just
for the client, the hard
yes.
part wasn't buying the technology. The
No,
hard part is changing the way people work, and
exactly.
that all happens after,
Exactly.
and that's pain for them.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and it's
so
just sorry.
there you go.
Uh, yeah, what I wanted to say was on the right side, it doesn't mean that you have to, uh, you know, sit with them on a call every hour or 2 days a week, but, serve them some resources on how to land this with the different, departments. This is change management as well.
Mhm.
And the other side is the bow tie has two sides. The acquisition is a fuckload more expensive than the other one because
Yeah, yeah,
people have already said yes over here. So if you help them succeed, they are going to refer you. They're going to stay longer. So, just make an
yeah,
effort on the other
yeah,
side of the signature.
yeah. It's not hard to do that at that point,
No,
is it?
exactly.
So yeah,
It has.
and then the last one,
Hmm.
uh, very last out of our 7. So
Yeah.
give your capabilities a face. People
Mhm.
buy people. It doesn't matter how clever your product is. People want to buy people, and I think this is a trend that's like completely undervalued. Is make some of your people visible experts
Mhm.
that are talking about your product. I mean,
Yeah.
like amazing ambassador. This is Elena Werner of Lovable. It's like
Yes.
made this into an art form, right? But
Yeah.
Lovable has visible experts actively talking about their products, talking about what's going on. The product then has a face, it's people. It's
Yeah.
people being advocates.
Yeah.
And it makes a massive difference. Massive, massive difference. Because, people already like someone rather than a faceless salesperson turning up.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. And also, no one likes to be sailed at. No one likes to, be a victim of the business development chat of this world because it doesn't feel nice. So
Yeah,
if you have, I know that Dream Data, because they're Danish, they have some, very visible people on LinkedIn. So I feel like I know them. I haven't touched their
yeah,
software, at all. But if I had one of my clients who wanted to, get into whatever their software solves, I would recommend have a look at them because I know them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
All right. So
shall we recap the 7?
yeah, I think so. You want to recap it, Helen? You know it by heart.
So, number 1, upgrade the user, not the technology. Talk about what someone can finally do because you're in their world.
Mhm.
Use industry language, number 2. Even better, the language of the client. If they call it something particular, use that. Don't sound generic. Don't sound like everybody else. Number 3, pinpoint the problem that the client wants to solve, the one that keeps them up at night, not the problem you wish they had. Inconvenient that. Number 4, talk about what good looks like, right? Sell that vision of the
Mhm.
happy ending. Number 5, write the soundbite that they're going to repeat when you're not in the room.
Mhm.
Give them that tangible soundbite to say. Number 6, build some early value into the way you work. It doesn't end when they sign the contract. Give them something those early weeks of working with you. And then finally, give your capabilities a face.
Mhm.
Make sure they know that you're a company with people doing stuff,
Yeah.
rather than a faceless organization. So that's
Microsoft.
7.
Microsoft. No, I'm just kidding. One of my
But
clients,
even
but it is
even
true.
you
Yeah.
see some that doing that now.
Yeah.
You see that kind of, oh, these are the agents that I built myself with Copilot. Isn't this
Yeah.
cool? So
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
even they're
Yeah.
starting to do a little bit of that.
Yeah. Yeah. They've loosened the top bottom in the shirt, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
In the button down blue shirt,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Exactly. All right, Helen. So where can people find you? Obviously on LinkedIn, but anywhere else?
I'm on LinkedIn and I've got a newsletter. So find me on LinkedIn and you'll see on my profile that you can have my newsletter, and I talk about stuff on a Friday about the hard parts changing the way people work, right?
Yeah. Yes. And I'm on LinkedIn as well, obviously. And Helen, we talked about, making this checklist available. For me, I'm gonna do like a Notion page for the people on my newsletter. I think you're gonna offer
Uh,
the 7 steps for people who signs up, right?
yeah, yeah, as
Yeah.
a PDF. So yeah,
Yeah.
anyone that signs up. So just leave us a comment and that'll
Yes.
be grand.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this was helpful for anybody listening.
And see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Innovation Crowd. Subscribe on your favourite podcasting service so you don't miss a thing. And I'll see you next time.